Something that I see very often with students is that they're doing many of the right things to play with good technique, but the height that they are sitting at their harp is actually working against them. So you may be trying really hard to keep your elbows high and close properly with your fingers, but you might not realize that this one thing is keeping you from succeeding, and it's not even your fault. So finding the right seat height greatly influences your technique. It helps you get the best sound as you're playing, and it also helps ensure that you don't cause any pain as you play. Just as a disclaimer, I don't want you to try to copy exactly how you see me sitting at my harp, because we all have different lengths of our torsos and arms and legs, and many people try to measure like their shoulder or head against the harp and kind of compare it to other people. But finding the right seat height isn't about how it looks, it's all about how it supports your technique, and I'm going to give you some guidelines on how to make sure that you're sitting properly. You are likely sitting too high if you find that you are hunching over the harp because you have to lean down to see the strings. So the strings are going to feel quite far away. So you either need to lower your bench or raise your harp. On the other hand, you may be sitting too low if when you place in the middle of the strings, and this depends on what type of harp you're playing on, but you may find that your elbows drop and your wrist becomes a hill, and when you pluck, your fingers kind of curl up and back into your palm versus down and back into your palm. And it's really hard to play with good technique this way. And then when you try to remedy that by elevating your elbows, you'll find that after a while, your arms and your shoulders get really tired trying to maintain that position. So if this is the case, you either need to raise your bench or lower your harp. All right, now let me show you what it should look like when you're sitting at the proper height. So when you place your fingers on the middle of the strings, there should be a gap between your body and your elbows. This elbow should be elevated and you shouldn't get fatigued after a while. And that's going to create this dip in the wrist, which is what we want to see. And then your fingers should be able to close comfortably back into your palm as you pluck versus up and back like this. So down and back. So let's talk about finding some solutions to get you at the proper height. The first thing is that you want to make sure that you're sitting on a nice sturdy bench or chair. You want to avoid sitting on a super squishy couch or even the floor. And preferably, if you can find a chair that is easily adjustable, that's ideal. If your bench or chair doesn't adjust that way, maybe just find a cushion that you can sit on to get yourself a little bit higher if you need to. And if you look in the description of this video, we have attached some links that you can check out to find some really great benches you might consider. So a really standard option, which again is linked below, is a harp or a piano bench. These often can easily adjust. Some people find a drum throne really comfortable as well, but the fact that it can spin can make it a little bit less stable. So you just need to watch out for that. And if you find that you need some back support, we have linked a musician's chair in the description that I've heard a lot of people say really good things about. And you could also use a really supportive office chair or dining chair. I've got my office chair here as well, but you just got to make sure that the armrests don't get in the way as you are playing it. But those can be great options. They often adjust really easily. And if you find that yours rolls around a little bit too much, you can just set a rug under the wheels to really keep it stable and in place as you're playing. Depending on what type of harp you have, you may have to get creative to find that perfect height. So with the lap harp, although they're called a lap harp, sometimes setting them on your lap actually isn't the best option. So with a lap harp, you might consider getting a stand to set it on, or a strap, or even setting it on a really sturdy box. When it comes to a floor harp, some of them come with removable legs that you can use to adjust the height, but you may find that if your harp is at a fixed height, it's better to adjust your bench. I understand it can feel really difficult to know if you're sitting at the right height, and it's one of those things, like I said, where you don't want to try to copy exactly how you see me sitting at my harp or other players you may see online. It's really a personal thing and how it supports your technique. But if you'd like me to take a look at how you're sitting at your harp, you can check out the link in the description to book your own feedback video, and we'll make sure you're all set up properly.